Hello, fellow explorers. What is it that you are currently reaping? And with that reaping, with that harvesting, what are you sowing? Let's go ahead and jump on into this timeless tarot pick a card reading, and we'll find out. Hello, fellow explorers. Welcome to the Mystic Lemur. My name is Rita, and it is, as always, my honor to be your guide through the messages in today's reading. So for today, what we're looking at are around the energies of the end of summer, the first part of the harvest as the sun is just beginning to head back to bed here in the Southern Hemisphere, so around about February 1st. And in the Northern Hemisphere, well, the sun is going to bed down here in the south. In the north, you're getting the sun to start coming back to awakenness. And you're just beginning to have the first stirrings of spring. You might start seeing the first irises or the first crocuses popping up out of the snow. So now is a great time to check in, especially after the heavy, dense energy we've had through January. What is it that you've been working so hard to build up, that you're ready to reap into this stepping forward into the next phase of February? And what are you looking to sow? As with creating that space in your reaping, you're also adding something new in that you can begin to grow in that space that you've opened up. So what is it that you're growing? Let's go ahead and have a look. So we have 3 piles again today. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So let's go ahead and settle on in, find our comfortable seated position, grounding the energy, rooting the energy into the earth beneath us, and connecting in with our inner being, taking 3 rounds of deep mindful breath. All right, opening up the eyes and finding which of these piles is speaking to you today. That again could be 1, 2, or 3. We're going to go ahead and jump on into pile number 1 right now. So if you'd like to take another few moments, please pause here. And coming into pile number 1. All right, so for all of these readings, we have the Magician in reverse as our back of the deck, our context energy here for this new phase that we are stepping into, with a reminder that in the Southern Hemisphere, we're just at the end of summer. We're just coming to this point where the sun has begun to come back out of its apex, come back out of its peak energy. It's donated all of its energy to our growing things, and now we are beginning to reap that. And in the north, your sun energy is just beginning to wake back up. So what are you sowing? And this will be, again, anywhere in the world will be relevant to this reading. So what is it right now at this time that we are reaping, and with the energy that we are opening up through that reaping, what are we sowing in its place? So first of all, what is it that we are harvesting? What's coming up? What are we pulling forth from ourselves that we've been growing for some time? Start off with the 7 of Chalices, 7 of Cups. So the 7 of Cups, this is a card that speaks of illusions, speaks of being receptive to desires that may be blocked, or may be not to our highest standard, highest self. And this is giving us this sense of anxiety. So I can certainly resonate with this sort of idea that you want multiple things. You want so many different things. It could be that you're pulled in many different directions. And so what we're really beginning to manifest, what we're really beginning to pull forward right now, is more of that sense of the different things that we really do want, and stepping up into choosing those things that really are for our highest interest, and letting go of those things that are more in the lower path, that are no longer serving us. What else is it that we are bringing about right now? We have the Knave of Chalices, a Page of Cups, a new direction in how we are tapping into our emotional selves. We got all of this bright blue energy here. So for many of us, this is also tapping into our emotions and speaking our emotions with truth. Speaking up and standing up for ourselves by tapping into and trusting our emotions. So for me personally, what this would be tapping into, maybe resonating for many of you as well, is I noticed recently that I've had a number of emotional blocks. It could be coming up here too. Part of what's stopping you from getting all of the desires that you have, because I haven't been honoring myself and even believing my own emotions. So how would anyone else believe me when I tell them about my emotions when I don't even believe myself? So there's a new direction in the way that you are honoring and speaking your own truth of your own emotions. Finally, what else are we reaping right now? Group number 1, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is quite a positive card. So this is speaking of the completion here, or nearing completion, quite a bit of maturity. So 9 is, not quite the end of the cycle. 10 would be the end of the cycle. So again, coming up to the point where we're about ready to level up in the way that we are dealing with our physical self. We're really becoming a more mature expression of how we handle our physical energy. And this is partly to do with all of this emotional work that we are bringing into the light, is helping us to level up in our physical abundance as well. So with all of this space that we're now opening out, with the things that we're bringing forward, what is it? What are the new seeds that we're planting right now at this time? We have the 2 of Chalices. All right, yeah, lots of watery, emotional, receptive energy for you, group number 1. So the 2 of Chalices, we are bringing forth a divine union, a union between opposites, a union between those pieces of ourselves coming up under this 7 of Cups, those pieces of ourselves that were in conflict, that were giving us this this blockage around getting what we really want, getting what we truly desire, because we have all of this self-doubt, right? These illusions about, what we think we should want, or what we think we're supposed to be doing. We're coming into bringing those different pieces of ourselves in together. So we're laying the foundations right now for this divine union to happen throughout the rest of the year, or the coming months, the coming month ahead, coming cycle ahead. What else are we sowing at this time? Group number 1. Wow, the Devil. All right, so passions. What we're definitely looking to here are possibly, again, if we're dealing with lower desires, what we're sowing for ourselves now are potentially those ways of, you'll want to think about if those desires that you're choosing to follow are genuinely in the interest of your higher self. If they are not, the encouragement from this reading would be to let those go, because the whole intention of this channel is to help you find your higher self and connect with it. But the Devil can also mean energy of Capricorn, embodying that energy of Capricorn. So being very businesslike, being very grounded, and also being very connected to what your actual passions are, because the more positive reading of the Devil energy here would be passion and drive. So just making sure, sowing those seeds, that the passions and the drives that you follow are indeed in alignment with this truth of your emotions. So tapping in, we're bringing forward this truth in how our emotional body really functions. And this is opening a space for us to connect with our passions and connect with the things that will really make us actually able to be effective in the world, with the caveat that, again, if this is something that's tied in with a lower desire, or a desire that is not actually in favor of your higher self, that could be a thing to walk away from and might be a further lesson down the line. And finally, what else are we sowing at this time? The Chariot in reverse. So the Chariot in reverse would say that some more planning, some more thought is needed. This coming up in the upright position, the Chariot would say inspired action all the way. But again, what we're sowing here, connecting with the 7 of Cups, might be that we are needing to take a step back. We're sowing those seeds. We're beginning to realize the ways that we might want to pivot and come to another examination of what it is we truly want, and turning that fire inward, turning that energy of bringing about things to mature our physical well-being, starting from the inside and bringing that inspired action from what is truly inspiring for you and not inspiring for someone else. So again, tapping in with your truth. Some words of wisdom from the flowers for you, group number 1. We have Bird of Paradise, self-acceptance. You are so much more. Absolutely. So let's tapping in with this, what I was saying about the Page of Cups, or the Knave of Chalices. Being aware that you need to value yourself first, and that will allow you to command others to value you appropriately as well. Because if you can't even acknowledge yourself, how would someone else do so? We also have the zinnia, absence. What is not here is the key. So this is what we're reaping right now, self-acceptance. What we are sowing is the removal of things that are no longer serving us, right? So removal of the potential blockages, the potential negative attachments that we might be getting through this devil energy, and also removing anything that won't be keeping you from being your true, higher expression of yourself. Words of healing wisdom for you, group number 1. Let love be your motivation for action. Yeah, so coming in here with this inspired action from the Chariot card in reverse. Being sure that when you're trying to level up this this business energy or this financial energy, this physical abundance, whatever way you're looking to make it happen for you, making sure it's coming from a place of love of self and of others, rather than just trying to make a buck or bring the hustle. All right, so those are I'm giving the background context here with the Magician, just to tap that back in. So the Magician in reverse here, he is, with the context here, bringing forward the energy that we need to be thinking about, not just pushing forward, doing the hustle. So moving from the Capricorn energy that was all through January, coming more into this Aquarius energy, heading for this new beginning that we're trying to pull about by harvesting what we've been growing and then sowing in a new level, sowing in a new cycle, making sure that we're not just pushing forward, but instead making sure that the manifestations that we're bringing about are starting from the inside. So that's what I have for you, group number 1. Please let me know in the comments below how this set for you, and give this video a like if you like it. And if you really like this reading, you might also like to give us a subscribe to hang around and be a part of the evolution of this channel. Thank you so much, group number 1. I'd love to see you again very soon. And until then, heading on to group number 2. Group number 2, what are you reaping and what are you sowing? So again, with the energy of the end of summer here in the south, what are the things that are coming forth for us now that all of the energy that we've been putting into it has started to reach its peak and beginning to level off? And for you in the north, we have the energy of Imbolc and the beginning of spring. So what is it that is starting to come about to be ready to be sown? So anywhere in the world, what are we reaping? What are we sowing? First, we'll have a look at what is it that we are harvesting. What are we bringing forward right now in the end of this cycle and the beginning of the next? 10 of Swords. All right, so we are bringing forward a release of major pain that's been holding us back, especially physical, in the mental domain. I often see this as an ego death. So something that has been possibly hanging around as a limiting belief for you for quite a few years, maybe even something that you've inherited from a parent or from another caregiver really early in life. This is coming forward for you right now to be released. What else are you harvesting at this time? We have 7 of Wands in reverse. So this is speaking about the 7 of Wands upright. This often looks to me like the spiritual energy, or the energy of the fire within you is pushing you in one direction, but your mind is still kind of battling against it. So coming up in reverse, this is looking to me, again, pairing this with this sort of ego death. You finally come to a space where you're allowing yourself to release that resistance that you've had within your mind from this sort of spiritual impulse that you've been going forward with. And this is beginning to, again, open itself up to you to completely release it and completely move ahead away from it. Finally, what are you reaping? The Lovers. So very appropriate coming into February. And what are your choices that you're making right now? The Lovers not only is about, love and pair bonding and romance, but the story of this card is a lot to do with this man who's been sort of having it both ways with these 2 different women who didn't know about each other until this sort of confrontational meeting. So are you choosing the thing that is something that you're ready and willing to fully commit to because it is an actual expression of your true desires, your true self? Or are you taking a shortcut and trying to do things sort of halfway, so with splitting yourself too many ways, keeping yourself too divided? This also reminds me of the song Jolene. So in what ways are you bringing love into your conflicts? Because the song Jolene is all about confronting this person who's been possibly tempting or completing an act of an affair with your man, but she's confronting this woman with love and with a plea to please back off and let us have a happy life together. Please don't try to take him from me, rather than the usual sort of like, I'm going to beat you up kind of other woman song. So in what ways are you bringing love into the conflicts that are present to you after this tumultuous January? And what is it at this time that you are sowing with this energy, this clearing out that we've completed, we're coming forward with at the time of when you're receiving this reading, which again is fueled by the energies of the end of summer, beginning of spring for different parts of the world? What are you beginning to sow now? We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So the mind being the suit of the swords, and the Knight being a servant, and a very active servant, coming up in reverse. You're sowing this, and also coming up in this position underneath the Ten of Swords, this sensation of a turbulent breakthrough. You are coming to a space where you're releasing that reliance on, or you're getting ready to release your reliance on the mind as your only driver. You're making more space, you're sowing more seeds that will allow you to release this dependence on how your mind is driving everything and allowing other things to be your driver instead. We also have the Knight of Chalices. So again, more service here, but now it's that your emotions are coming more into service. The Knight of Chalices, or the Knight of Cups, is often regarded as the most romantic of the knights. Reminds me of the Tin Woodsman in The Wizard of Oz, just very sentimental, very in love with love, and again, very appropriate for February, which is the energy of this reading. But the imagery of this card is also very reminds me a lot of Scorpio energy, you know, the more into the intensity of the emotions of the water signs. So bringing the subconscious into service. So the subconscious mind, again, if we're in this space where we're beginning to let spiritual impulses guide rather than just the mind, the subconscious mind is a very great and faithful servant. So this may be also signaling the subconscious mind being inverted to be more in service to you rather than God leading you. It's no longer your master, but now it's your servant. So here the subconscious mind is coming forward, and this could be that you are beginning to step into a practice, or the invitation from this reading to step into this practice of every morning before you get up, as you're getting out of bed, before you look at any of the devices in your life, looking at news or social media, setting the intention, today I am calling upon my subconscious mind to work along with my higher self to bring about my highest good and my highest purpose for this day. So once you set that intention for your subconscious mind, it can go ahead and run its programs in favor of you, because it will do what it needs to do to get you through the day. And if you're not being mindful of telling it what you want, so for example, if you've got anxiety about a big meeting that you have to do at work that day, and you're not mindful of how you're negotiating this with your subconscious mind, the subconscious mind will hear, I don't want to go to work today, and it might make you sick. So instead of allowing it to give you that solution to your problem, which isn't really the solution you want, you can direct it to helping you find a solution that you do favor, that you do want, by saying, I intend to find a solution to this anxiety I have around this meeting by finding the way to open my throat chakra and speak my truth with kindness, that sort of thing. So that way that the subconscious mind knows which program to trigger into to actually help you get the outcome that you truly do want, rather than just avoiding something that may be scary to you. And finally, what else are you sowing at this time? the High Priestess. Very cool. So with this choice, this commitment that you're making right now, this commitment that's coming to bear fruit for you at this time, you're sowing the seeds of tapping again into that subconscious, right? So the High Priestess pairing in with this background energy of the Magician. So releasing this need to be very agentic and forceful in the way that you bring stuff into your life. You're going more with the flow. You're tapping into this subconscious that's helping you make things happen. And you're sitting in this space of between the dualities. So instead of just looking at good or bad, light or dark, you're looking at the gray, and you're allowing things to be simultaneously good and bad and not need to change anything about it. This is all exactly where it needs to be happening, as it needs to be happening. Again, mantras like, I'm always where I need to be. Everything is happening as it needs to. Everything is happening in my favor. Everything is working out for me. In the long run, these things happen for me, not to me. All of those things can be very helpful to you in moving forward. Because again, there's some heavy energy that you're moving through right now. This is what the fruit that you're finding that's coming to bear for you right now. And these are the new things you're making room for by harvesting these things. And what are the words of wisdom from the flowers for you? Group number 2, sunflower. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Assertiveness. Rise up and stand stronger and true. Absolutely. So rising up from the ashes of this breakthrough that you've made. And the sunflower also reminds us of the sun card in the major arcana, which has to do with really stepping forward into the light, really reaching that apex of the solar energy in your life and bringing that forward to shine that light well, and standing up for yourself, speaking that truth. As I was saying, if you have a meeting that you're worried about, speaking that truth with kindness at that meeting rather than running away and letting your subconscious mind run amok. We also have orange blossom, enthusiasm. The best can be here, believe it. So yeah, absolutely. We're sowing the seeds, we're setting the intentions to bring forth the best that it can be, and believing that the best can actually happen for you. All right. And what do we have as words of healing wisdom for you, group number 2? Always look for the good, even in the most difficult situations. Absolutely. So as I was saying, with this Empress energy, we're seeing the duality in things, and we're accepting that they are equally true. And every choice, every event, every situation has equal parts good and bad. And we're in this space right now where we're setting these intentions. We're taking active participation with the subconscious mind to bring it to a service of us rather than making it our master, by saying that even in the stuff that seems like a challenge, that a challenge is also an opportunity. So instead of looking at the problem, we're looking at the solution that the problem presents. And choosing to manifest the good, choosing to realize that these things are happening for our benefit in some way, and choosing to find that benefit, setting the intention that our subconscious mind will help us see that benefit and grow it. All right. These are the messages I have for you, group number 2. Group number 2, thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide through these readings. As always, I'd love to hear about your impressions, what this brought up for you in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like. And if it hit your vibe, love to have you join this growing community around this channel by hitting that subscribe button. Look forward to seeing you again very soon, group number 2. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and head off to group number 3. Okie dokie, group number 3. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to see you here again. What are we reaping and what are we sowing at this time? So the energies of this reading in the Southern Hemisphere, we've reached the end of summer. We're just beginning to tip the scale over towards fall. The sun has reached its apex, and now we're beginning to have the first harvests of our summer gardens. The first, like the sweet corns in the market, the stone fruits are in the market. So it's that really heft of summer is coming to bear its fruit. And in the north, the first stirrings of spring are happening. So that's the spirit of Imbolc, the end of the depths of winter. The first crocuses or the first irises might be starting to pop up through the snow, and just beginning to get that glimmer of light as we know that the sun is about to return to us. So again, the energy of this time at this reading, we had a very heavy January, a very heavy Capricorn season, and now we're into Aquarius season, coming into February. What are the things that we are extracting is the benefits, the lessons that we've learned through this time, and with the things that we are pulling out that are coming to bear fruit, what are we putting into its place? What are we sowing into its place to have the next cycle growing forward? So what are we reaping at this time, group number 3? 2 of Wands in reverse. So the time for action is now. You've done the planning, and the internal planning has happened. So this could be that what we are looking for here, the 2 of Wands is all about planning, is also all about balance in the spirit. So bringing that into reverse, this could be that you've had a space where you know that you've been planning something for a while, but you've been you feel like you just need one more detail, or you're not quite feeling ready. So this could be an indication that what's coming to bear fruit for you right now is to take that leap, to dive in, because you can always get another certification, you can always read another book or learn another course. It's like what I tell my my students in writing. You can always read another paper, but you're not going to have it. It doesn't matter what you think if you don't tell someone about it. At some point, you just need to put pen to paper, or you just need to put your hands to your keyboard and start writing something. The first draft is always going to be crap. That's just the truth. So allow that to be true. The first time you try it, it will be rocky, but you're not going to learn if you don't try. So don't be too hung up on feeling like you need to plan more. Now's the time to release that need to plan and step forward with an inspired action. So what else are we reaping at this time, group number 3? The Wheel in reverse. All right, so this is an end of a cycle, and it's also a card ruled by Jupiter, so it has to do with positivity, expansion, good luck. So the Wheel of Fortune, and whether or not you want to give it a spin. Coming up in reverse, again, this might be tying in, with and there's a release there. This might be tying in with energy of 2 of Wands, that you are having this sense of hesitation. The thing that's coming to bear fruit for you right now is whatever it is that you have been blocking yourself on, this luck that you've not been believing in. You're not allowing yourself to believe that you could have this luck, or a limiting belief, or a belief of that luck is insufficient, or you don't have enough of something. The Wheel of Fortune, the luck that you are seeking, starts from within you. So give yourself that spin, but start from the inside. And we also have, what are you harvesting? What are you reaping at this time? Justice. Yep. So the fruits that are coming to bear for you have to do with harmony, balance, and something that you've done karmically. And I'm seeing this as something that you've been distrustful of. So again, it will be different messages for different folks, but I'm seeing this as positive karma, positive things that you've done, maybe in this life, maybe in past life, maybe quite a long time ago that you've completely forgotten, or just some like offhanded thing that truly was just, an impulsive thing that really made an impact on someone else that you didn't quite realize, and that's coming back to you in a positive way right now. But you're in this space where you really need to believe in it. You really need to allow it to be true, for this to really be something that can fully come forward to you, because the time is right now for you to be harvesting those fruits of your karmic labors and bringing forth that in a way that is valuing harmony and balance, and embodying the other energy of this card, which is Libra. So being a leader, being a charismatic person who unites different people in various ways. So what are we sowing? With all these things that we're clearing out, this fruit that's coming to bear right now that we're harvesting, what are we sowing at this time, group number 3? Death, transformation. So all of this, as we're releasing the doubt, the fear that you need to have a bigger plan or a better plan, this fear that you can't spin the wheel, that karma may not be in your favor, but I'm reading this as it is. You have to trust it. This is helping you to put forth the seeds for a new start, for a brand new transformation. But that could also mean that in order to have that new start, there is an end that needs to be released and allowed to happen for this brand new phase to step forth. What else are you sowing at this time? Group number 3, 4 of chalices. So again, I'm seeing this as there's something that's being offered to you in a subtle way, something in the emotional body. As I was saying for group number 1, could be that you've been feeling something emotionally. The cards, the cards of the chalices all have to do with emotional energy, the emotional body. I noticed for myself recently that I have trouble believing myself when I have an emotion. So I might deny my own emotions, especially harder, more unpleasant emotions. And if you're into manifestation, negative emotions are particularly threatening in some ways, because it's like, oh no, I'm manifesting a low vibration, right? But pushing it under the rug, or sticking your head in the sand, for some things does work, but for really deep-seated stuff, you really got to get to the root. And here, your emotional body might be triggering you, but like here's a root of something. It's time to pull that out, which also is tying into this lack of belief in your own luck and your own ability to bring about the good luck in your life that you choose. And it's coming through your emotional body, and you're in the space where you're getting ready to allow this energy to come forward, because you, up until now, haven't been believing in your own emotions. But up until now, that was true. Today forward, you can set the intention that I believe in I honor and trust my own emotional body. I trust my gut emotions. I trust my gut feelings. And if I have an opinion about something, it doesn't matter that no one else believes me. My experience is valuable, and I will always defend myself. Even if I don't think anyone else will, I defend myself. And this will bring in this space for this new direction in your emotion, this new gift of spirit to come forward to you and replenish this sort of sense of exhaustion you may have had. Finally, what are you reaping, what you're sowing? What are you sowing that's helping you reap this karmic lesson? The Hanged Man in reverse. So you've got in this space where you're coming through a new perspective, and I'm seeing this as what you're sowing the seeds of are your path to enlightenment. So in the upright position, the Hanged Man speaks of a change of perspective. Coming up in reverse, this reminds me of a lotus coming up through the mud, coming up through the water, because this card is also ruled by water. So again, trusting in your emotions and noticing that these things that have been challenges may have been you sowing those karmic seeds of justice for yourself and for others that are helping you to realize your own enlightenment at this time. So the seeds of your realization that you are already ascended, you are already enlightened, and all you have to do is choose to cut this tie. You can stay rooted to where you are, but you can still elevate. You don't have to choose one or the other. And being rooted, being grounded here with this linkage that you have into physical isn't going to necessarily hold you back, because we're simultaneously physical and spiritual. And again, being in this space where you're allowing yourself to trust yourself, to take those inspired actions, will allow you to realize that you've been what you always wanted to be this whole time. All you need to do is let yourself get out of your own way and ascend. We have some words of healing wisdom from the flowers for you. Pitcher plant, insight. You're reaping insight right now. Answers are there for those who look. So you're ready. You're ready to have those answers. You're ready to realize you had those answers the whole time. We also have peony, health. Focus on all parts to make the whole. Absolutely. So this is speaking to me of what I was saying with this chalice is trusting everything, trusting that your emotions, even if they might feel negative, are telling you important things. One of the things that often happens to us, especially if we've had any kind of trauma or any kind of rough situation that we've experienced in the past, is that our bodies fracture, both at the physical and the emotional and the spiritual level. And with this sort of fracturing of the self, we learn to distrust ourselves in ways, and we learn to belittle ourselves in some ways, and we learn to hide ourselves in some ways. And so with this health and focusing on all the parts to make the whole, bringing all those parts back together, realizing that you are unified, realizing that you are already whole, you are already enlightened, you are already ascended. All you need to do is get out of your own way. And so honoring all parts of yourself, honoring the past that you've had, even if there were things that you did that weren't, your favorite things that you've ever done. It's something that you needed to learn. Maybe there was something that wasn't a great, karmic event for you to happen, or a great karmic choice for you to have happen, but it needed to happen so that you can learn that lesson. So words of healing wisdom for you, and this star-studded imagery on this card. So I'm seeing that to be a very cosmic thing for many of you. Devote yourself to discovering the highest truths. Yeah, so coming up near this, realizing your enlightenment. So looking to see the broader picture, looking to see the higher perspective, and setting the intention as you're reaping these benefits of the things that you've sown, realizing that you can release this need to be planning. You can trust yourself that you're not a subject, you're not a victim of luck. You're not a victim of luck. You design your own luck, and the karmic rewards are coming to you, giving you this space to begin this transformation, to allow the spiritual gifts to come to you and to realize your own enlightenment, setting the intentions that you are going to see the higher truths in all of this. So this is what I have for you, group number 3, and I'll also say with this context of the background energy of the magician. The magician here is the back of the deck energy for all 3 of these readings. So at this time where we're reaping and we're sowing, what we're really calling in is to release the need to be the driver, release the need to be pushing things to manifest in the physicality, and start from the inside. Allow that the inspired action is what's really driving us, rather than this need to have things be precisely controlled, sort of allowing for co-creation to happen with the universe, knowing that you've already asked the question, so the answer is coming, and knowing that that is a truth, so that is a higher truth, so that you can release the need to know. And as soon as you release the need to know, as soon as you release the need to be that agentic creator, you'll see that you've been that agentic creator the whole time. So it's just possibly coming to you in a way that you hadn't expected. So this is what I have for you, group number 3. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, as always. If you'd like to let me know how this sat with you, I'd love to read it in the comments below. You might like to give this video a like. You might like to give it a subscribe. I'd love to have you join this growing family around this channel. And until then, I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Until such time, as always, go in peace to love and to serve. Namaste.